We're back with another video, and in this one we have Hegel. So I'd like you to start, Hegel, just by giving us the basic rundown of your philosophy. What do you believe in?
Greetings, I am Hegel. My philosophy, often referred to as absolute idealism, holds that reality is a rational process where the development of spirit unfolds through dialectics. This involves a triadic structure, thesis, antithesis, and synthesis, through which contradictions are resolved, ultimately revealing the absolute. Thus, history and human consciousness progress toward greater freedom and self-awareness.
Okay, what is the absolute? What do you mean by the absolute?
The absolute, in my philosophy, represents the ultimate reality where all contradictions are resolved. It is the totality of existence, encompassing all thought, nature, and spirit. Through dialectical progress, we come to recognize this absolute as both the source and the end of all reality, where individual consciousness merges with universal spirit.
Okay, so what you're saying is reality has some kind of end point. So we're heading somewhere to some particular point.
Exactly. In my view, history and human consciousness are progressing towards a culmination, which is the realization of the absolute. This endpoint isn't a static place, but a dynamic state of full self-awareness, where spirit comprehends its own freedom and unity. Each stage of history, with its conflicts and resolutions, moves us closer to this ultimate state of absolute knowledge.
So I'd like to know more about these conflicts and resolutions, but first I'd like you to tell me, what do you mean by spirit? What is that?
Certainly. By spirit, I mean the essence of human consciousness and self-awareness. It's the driving force behind our thoughts, culture, and history. Spirit evolves through the dialectical process, encountering conflict and contradictions, which are then resolved, leading to higher levels of understanding. Ultimately, spirit's journey is about achieving full self-knowledge and freedom.
So what you're saying is all of the conflicts in the world are actually a good thing in a way, because without these conflicts, it's not possible to reach the highest point.
Precisely. From my perspective, conflicts and contradictions are essential for progress. They propel the dialectical movement, pushing us toward higher levels of understanding. Each resolution brings us closer to the realization of the absolute, where spirit fully comprehends itself. So, these struggles are indeed necessary for growth.
But why does spirit necessarily want to find itself and be aware of itself? Like, what is the purpose of it? What is behind that? Is there a reason, or is it just happening because?
In my philosophy, spirit's drive towards self-awareness is an inherent part of its nature. It's not just happening randomly, it's the unfolding of rationality and freedom. The purpose is for spirit to fully comprehend itself and the universe, achieving absolute knowledge. This self-realization is the ultimate goal, where spirit understands its freedom and unity with all existence.
So when spirit reaches that point and that awareness, what happens next? Is that just it? Is that just like the end of everything?
Reaching the point of absolute knowledge doesn't mean everything stops. Rather, it's the culmination of spirit's journey, where freedom and understanding are fully realized. From this perspective, history's dialectical process is complete, but the dynamic nature of spirit ensures that this realization continues to enrich existence. It's not an end, but a fulfillment.
So we talked before about conflicts and contradictions. Can you give me some practical examples of that, of how that might look in the world?
Sure, practical examples of conflicts and contradictions include historical events like the French Revolution, where the struggle between monarchy and republicanism led to a new political order. Another example is the Industrial Revolution, which brought about tensions between traditional agrarian societies and modern industrial economies. These contradictions pushed society forward, resulting in significant social and economic transformations.
Okay, well, I know that Karl Marx was inspired by you, Hegel, but but you actually realised that even before Marx, that different classes overthrow other, just like you mentioned the French Revolution, but you realised that even before Karl Marx did.
Yes, indeed. While Marx drew on my dialectical method, I focused on the unfolding of spirit through history, including political and social changes like the French Revolution. I emphasized the evolution of freedom and consciousness. Marx, however, applied my ideas to material conditions, focusing on class struggles and economic forces as drivers of historical change.
Right, okay, I see what you mean now. Can you tell me anything else about your philosophy?
Certainly, another key aspect of my philosophy is the notion of the world spirit. This concept suggests that history is guided by a rational process, with humanity collectively moving toward greater self awareness. I also emphasized the importance of culture, art, and religion as expressions of spirit. These elements contribute to our understanding of freedom, ultimately culminating in the realization of the absolute.
So could it almost be like uh, baby steps, like religion, art, and culture are like baby steps towards understanding something far greater than what we've ever known so far.
Exactly. Religion, art, and culture serve as essential steps in humanity's journey toward deeper self awareness. They reflect the evolving understanding of spirit, each contributing to our comprehension of freedom and the absolute. Think of them as expressions of spirit at different stages, helping us grasp something far greater over time.
Okay, that's an interesting concept. So it's almost a bit like childish to sort of totally dismiss religion because you believe, oh, that might not be scientific, or that, because in a way it's like the reason why religions came about in the first place is because we're trying to grasp at something that we can't quite reach yet. Is that right? That we're only at one certain stage in the journey towards the absolute.
Exactly. Dismissing religion outright overlooks its role in humanity's quest for understanding. It's a stage in our journey, offering insights into the mysteries of existence. These beliefs, while not always scientific, represent early attempts to make sense of our place in the universe. Appreciating this helps us see them as meaningful steps toward the greater realization of the absolute.
Okay, please tell me more, Hegel, because I'm pretty interested in your philosophy. I want to know more about it.
Certainly. Another key idea in my philosophy is the master slave dialectic, found in my work, Phenomenology of Spirit. It describes how self consciousness develops through a struggle for recognition. In this dynamic, the master and slave relationship reveals how dependence and independence shape self awareness. This dialectic is crucial for understanding how individuals and societies evolve.
So would it be possible then to predict the next step, like as of 2025, would it be possible to predict the next step towards the absolute? Or is that something that's totally outside of our knowledge?
Predicting the next step towards the absolute is challenging. While we can identify patterns and trends, the dialectical process unfolds in complex, often unpredictable ways. However, by understanding historical movements and current conflicts, we can gain insights into potential future developments. The journey toward the absolute continues, shaped by our collective actions and understanding.
Okay, Hegel, it's been a real pleasure to talk to you, and I just want to make sure that anyone watching has a good idea of your philosophy. Is there anything else that might be fundamental that we haven't spoke about yet? We haven't spoken about.
It's been a pleasure. One fundamental aspect we haven't touched on is my concept of sublation, or Aufhebung. This term describes how contradictions are resolved in a way that preserves, negates, and elevates them. It's crucial for understanding how each stage in history and thought builds on the previous ones, leading to higher levels of understanding. This dialectical movement is central to my philosophy.
Okay. I feel like I'm just like dragging this on now, but I'm interested. How did you like become? How did you start to think that your ideas were correct? Like, how do you know? That's what I'm asking.
Great question. My ideas evolved through rigorous philosophical inquiry and engagement with previous thinkers. By examining history, logic, and human experience, I sought to uncover the rational structures underlying reality. My confidence in my philosophy comes from this systematic exploration and the coherence I found in the dialectical process. Ultimately, my approach is about seeking a deeper understanding of truth through reason and experience.
Okay, and in a sentence or two, what is truth for you?
For me, truth is the unfolding of the absolute, where rationality, self awareness, and freedom process by which spirit comprehends itself and reality, achieved through dialectical development.
Thank you for your time.